So we're back. So now we're gonna do the back. So to do the back, I'm gonna continue the line that we did on the waist because we want to keep your waistline at the same level. Okay, I'm gonna place my pattern here. That's enough space. So I'm gonna do my center back right here. Is it showing to the edge all the way here on the video?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna call this center back. So then for the center back, it says to trace this pattern identically. Okay? So, now, are we going to match the center back to the waist? No. We're actually going to match it to this point. So the back will be a tiny bit longer because if we match it there, then we are also short again. And then this is not going to measure the same as this. And it's always good to have a little bit more room in the back because we tend to sit down and our backs become longer than the opposite way, okay? So we're gonna touch this point on the side onto that line, and we're gonna maintain the center back lined up with the pattern. So I'm going to kind of trace this back. And look at the interesting thing. When we close the dart, it actually matches the sides. Yes? Remember that we lower the armhole later on.
So it has to be a long sleeve, right?
It will, otherwise we won't have a placket. Yes. And here I'm gonna just copy the neckline and the center back. I'm completely ignoring no darts. Yes? Mm-hmm. All right. Somebody's getting so loose.
Thank you.
Okay. So draw the shoulder line straight across through the dart. So this is going to be from the neck all the way out. We are ignoring the dart. Okay. And we're gonna call it, see here it says that we need to extend it and that should be X, but we did measure the other one and measure 5 1/8, and now let's see how much this one measures. This measures 5 6/8 because we extended that 1/2 inch. I'm sorry. 5 5/8, which is exactly what I have right here. So this is X. Let me just make sure. This measure 5 and 5 and oh, measures exactly the same. Miracle. Okay. So we're gonna add 1/4 inch at the mid armhole. So somewhere around here, we're gonna add 1/4 inch. Okay, and that's going to be our Y. Okay, and then we're going to mark 1.5 inches down from the armhole. So again, 1.5 here. We're going to square it out like we did on the other side, and then we're going to extend it 1 inch. By the way, something very common for pattern makers, we don't usually measure from the edge of the ruler. And I don't know why is that, but I do find that it kind of wears out and is rounded and you don't have a precise corner. You're gonna find that a lot of times a pattern maker, what they do is they get the ruler, they place it anywhere and they count how many inches, right? It just makes it easier, but I don't know, it's something that happens. So we're gonna do 1 inch here, right? Remember, this was 1 inch out. This was 1 inch out. Okay? And from there, we're gonna square this line all the way down. And we're gonna measure the same 10 inches that we did here. And we're gonna square it out. Okay? So the last thing that we need to do here is we need to create our armhole. So where's the hip? And this is going to be a much softer curve than the back,
Then the front.
than the front. Anybody knows why?
Because
So watch
we
me.
don't bend.
We tend to do this.
We don't bend forward backwards.
We don't do this, right? Look at what happens to my back when I do that. See how my back becomes broader? Look at how my sleeves get shorter, right? So your armhole is always much more shallow than the front that is deeper, because since we go forward, you don't want to have all of this fabric bunched up here on the front, but you do want to have more on the back. You guys did learn before that when you do the sleeve, if you fold it in half, the back is always a little broader than the front, and that's the reason why. Okay? So here I'm going to create the back armhole. And I'm going to soften it into that. Okay? All right. Center length 7/8, square across, mark 1 inch at the waist, draw the armhole, touch heavy MC. We will do the curve of the bottom of the shirt later on, because if we are going to make the oversize and make it bigger, why waste our time? We're gonna have to do it again. All right, that's it. I'm gonna let you guys work on this, and then we'll take it from here, and we're gonna work on the following page. Meanwhile, I'm going to upload